anything tomorrow.
So the Eagles winning the Super Bowl automatically puts you in legendary status, right? Like,
sure. We've only had one Super Bowl winning team.
Right. So you are now a legend for life. But this is what's going to be interesting today, to try to figure out the balance. So Jalen Hurts is how old, John?
26.
Nick Sirianni is 43.
You realize you're 5 years older than Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, tell me about it.
I mean, seriously, like it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Now he acts 20 years older than me.
And that's shocking because you do act like older than me.
I know.
So that shocks me.
So we have a 26-year-old franchise quarterback, a 43-year-old head coach who has had a ton of success in the NFL.
He absolutely has.
If you think back to the 2017-18 Philadelphia Eagles, the team that brought home the first Lombardi trophy in the history of the franchise, you had a backup quarterback.
Yep.
You had a head coach that I think we thought would stick around for a long time, but that kind of quickly faded away within the next 2 years.
37-year-old left tackle?
A lot of one-year prove-it deals.
Right. I mean, like there was a lot
of veterans.
Right.
A lot of guys who either retired or left because they got paid, or you knew they would stick around for another year or two, but the
clock was
like
ticking.
Jay Ajayi, Darren
exactly.
Sproles, he stuck around for a couple more years. These guys are legends. Nick Foles would never have to buy another beer in the city again. We know that.
He's beloved.
How do we balance that legendary status with guys that will be here for another 5, 6, 10 years?
You rewrite your legends. In my mind, you then have to start to, if you get a storied franchise or a storied football program,
right?
And I saw this a lot in the South. My partner that I worked with for years, 20-some years, he was the only quarterback at the time that had won the national title at Georgia.
Okay.
But Matthew Stafford followed him.
Right.
Aaron Murray followed him. Other quarterbacks followed him that were in fantastic success. But he was the only one that had the ring.
Because he was the
and
first.
And he was held in a status that people would literally be like, well, Buck wasn't as good as that guy or that guy. But Buck was the guy who got it done.
Right.
So you start to then, when you get guys with rings, then you have to start to sort of stack them to where they belong, because maybe a guy was a legend because of a year.
Right.
Or 2. Or, in the case of Nick Foles, 4 weeks.
Right.
Whereas now you will actually have legends in a franchise that are more established for a career.
Right, and that's the thing.
Reputation.
Like Jalen Hurts is not done yet.
He's not done.
He's not
26.
He's not signing another contract with the Jags because he deserved it from winning the Super Bowl, and then you find out what he actually is. That was Nick Foles, right? He gets
Correct.
replaced by Gardner Minshew before his first season ended in Jacksonville.
Well, he got injured his first game.
Right.
Remember?
And then they brought him back, and he wasn't all that good. And I love you, Nick Foles, but he ended up being back to the quarterback. The clock struck midnight on the career of Nick Foles once he got to Jacksonville.
It did.
Jalen Hurts is going to be here for, we hope, another 10 years.
There's a difference between, in my mind, when we knew we were going to talk about this today, I was thinking about it. I spent a lot of time in the car yesterday. And I'm thinking, there's a difference between legendary in a moment and legendary in a career.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Foles was legendary in a moment.
Yes.
He had a 2-week period, honestly, because he didn't play well in the Falcon game. He didn't play well at the end of the regular season. That Raiders game, one of the worst games I've ever seen a pro quarterback play, and they still won. But to me, he was legendary in a clutch moment, 2-week period where it made everybody's jaw drop.
Yeah.
But we're going to now talk about legends that will establish a career. A.J. Brown has 3 years now. Devontae Smith has 4 years now. Now, Saquon Barkley, again, is going to have to do more than just this year.
Absolutely.
He'll always be a legend, but you don't want to be a legend for a season.
Right.
You want to be a legend for a career. I think this team is going to create tons of them. Like Lane Johnson to me.
Well, he's already a legend.
No, Lane Johnson to me is sort of the cornerstone of legends in this franchise now because he's got 2 of them.
Well, and that's the other thing. So our question today, how do we balance legendary status with active players that will be here for multiple years moving forward, but also you're talking about cornerstones of legends.
Your greatest offensive lineman ever, period.
could be your best quarterback ever as this continues. Some are already making the case that he is.
Well, I think that Jalen has a couple more years to just
solidify
have moments.
Yeah,
but I think it's almost over.
Oh,
that argument is almost over, and I'm a huge like you. You and I both have similar who we align with. Donovan McNabb, in my mind, is still.
But he never got it done the way that Jalen Hurts got it done.
He showed. And the big thing is, I don't know how many times I saw Donovan on comparable stages to Jalen show up small.
Right, whereas Jalen uplifts his game in these big moments. And so I think about the jerseys I wear. Now, I'm not a New Jersey buyer all that much.
Okay.
The last jersey I bought...
You live in New Jersey. You should be.
The last jersey I bought
buy everything over here and bring it across the border?
Was Harper.
Okay. I got that for Christmas.
On game days, I wear Doc. Yesterday, you saw me wear my Randall Cunningham jersey. I wasn't even around to watch him play, right? And so those are the legendary Eagles where I am wearing the name on my back, their name on my back. But they didn't win. These guys are winners. And you mentioned Lane Johnson is a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
I'm baffled by the Randall thing with you. By the way, I love it because I love Randall, and he's a really good dude.
Well, that was my dad's favorite player, so I grew up knowing about Randall.
But you never watched him.
No. I watched him more than Minnesota Vikings.
You never watched Randall Cunningham.
Eagles.
I mean, you're wearing guys now. To me, what do I have in the closet right now? I got Hurts, I got A.J. Brown, I got Devontae Smith, and I have Ertz is the throwback.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Our throwback jerseys, is it time to put them out the window when the current guys are the ones that are winning the whole thing?
The throwback jerseys are the 2017 Super Bowl champions now.
Yeah, the ones that won.
Now, we're not making rules here, but we are sort of saying there's going to be a new establishment of what makes you a legend in this franchise.
So how do we balance the legendary status with active players that will be here for years to come? Because we still have to hold them accountable if they have a bad game.
Sure.
But then again, they won a Super Bowl, and some of them have now won 2. 610-6320.
Thank you so much for checking out our content on the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, you can always be checking the playlist. There may be something you missed from one of our shows during the day that you want to go back and check out. So every time you like a video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have that great content coming to you every single day. You're greatly appreciated.